Hey, what's up? It's Jason. I'm back again with another video, and I'm doing a little tribute here to our man Chris at Rekkid Talk down in the States. He's celebrating 4 years in the VC, and glad to have him in the VC. I used to do a kind of a regular drop-in on Sundays, along with a fellow from Chicago, Richard. Trying to think of his moniker on the VC, but we used to jump in there every Sunday and talk about records from each year as they passed, sometimes jumbling up a few years into one video. But enough about that. This is Chris's contest, although there's no prize to win for his 4 years in the VC. And he's got a challenge for us. We got to show at least 7 records, but I got about 70 pulled here. They're all 7 inches. 777. 7 prompts anyway for 7 inches. And we will go through them. And none of the prompts, I have to say, have anything to do with genres. So I'm used to more like picking things based on genre. These are all different reasons to pick these, mostly aesthetic, etc. First up, going with a cool picture sleeve on a 7 inch. And I have tons and tons of punk 7 inches in my collection. I should say, out of my collection of we're getting up to like 8,700 these days, but that includes CDs, cassettes, and sevens. I probably have about 1,000 or more, maybe 1,500 sevens at this point. Large chunk are punk and hardcore. Large chunk 80s rock. Large chunk funk, disco, and then smaller chunks of things like metal or hip hop or whatever. But pulled a few from the punk area for cool 7 inch covers. I got this repress. This is like a bootleg repress of the Middle Class classic Out of Vogue. Super fast track, probably like 1 minute long. We'll get into some colored vinyl later, but that is a repress. Of course, you got this iconic cover of Minor Threat, the Salad Days 7 inch. It's been long copied and memed, and I think there's like a later photo of them in older age. On the Canadian side, of course, we got our favorites, No Means No out of Victoria, BC, and Oh Canada cover. That was, actually picked this up down in the States on a street sale in Brooklyn. This is one of my favorite covers, actually, of recent times. UK hardcore outfit, Necra, Royal Disruptor. This is just a totally intense cover. This is on La Vida Es in Muse, great UK punk label of recent times. Does some really great releases. So yeah, this just pretty much tells you exactly what you're going to get. Pretty in your face, raw as hell. Recent grindcore record I got, Soil of Ignorance. I actually got the poster up further back. It's kind of a cool cover. One of my favorites, classic rock, I guess, ish. Just John and Yoko there having a smoking coffee break. Really like that cover as well. And it's nice to get these old picture sleeves too, right? So that was number one, believe it or not. Number two, cool company sleeves. As I put this one back in the plastic. Surprisingly, I didn't have as many that I wanted to show, but this was one cool one. This is like kind of a reissue label as well. This is a reissue of Syl Johnson on the Numero label. I think this is like a UK. Sorry, no, not UK. It says Chicago, so Numero Group. Also stateside, of course, this is a great one. Etiquette Norton. I got a lot of Norton ones to show you guys, actually. And this is the double parallel line. We'll get into that later. But this is the Sonics and the Witch, a reissue, obviously. That's a cool company sleeve. Also Norton. That one's Norton Etiquette. This is just like kind of plain old Norton. That's pretty cool. Old school style sleeve. This is one of my favorite records, actually. An OG version of the Goo Goo Muck by Ronnie Cook and the Gaylords, I believe it is. And you got the Scotch on the other side. I think for years, many of us didn't realize that all those Cramp songs were, or a lot of those Cramp songs were covers. But yeah, it's so super cool to hear the OG version. That one's on a Norton reissue. Next up, Small Hole. These are sevens that generally are not from North America because the European market or the UK market has the smaller hole on the 7-inch. And by that I mean like this. This is a recent one I got. American producer actually from Chicago, Bo Wanzer. Huge fan. If you've watched my channel, I love his kind of abstract, horrific style of techno. And one of the few rare 7-inches that he's put out. He's got a lot of releases. His own drawings, I think, or design anyway. Otherwise, kind of a white label on the other side. But I actually got this from a label or a record shop out of Paris. Ordered it through Discogs. That's a Small Hole. Also, this is a recent one. This is actually one of the most recent sevens I got. Got this for my birthday. This is an OG punk band, hardcore band out of the Maritimes, where I'm originally from, Canada, on Unknown Coast. This is Slow Death, 1985 demo. This is like literally ripped off of a cassette demo, which one of the band members, original band members, gave me a copy of this 7-inch. I think he said he doesn't even have a copy of the original punk demo that was reissued, and they did a great job on this thing too. Like the inners. Let's get into the inner here. Inner's got like OG pictures of the band when they were kids, and all full of piss and vinegar lyrics, etc. So yeah, what was I showing that for? The Small Hole. Yeah. One more I'll show. Again, like a UK pressing, I think, of Loose Ends. Slow Down. Great soul funk track. But it's not the US pressing. I'm not sure if there is a US pressing 7-inch wise of that song. Probably is. It was a pretty cool hit, smooth hit from the late 80s, I want to say, early 90s. Next up, we got some colored vinyl. Lots to show. Norton again. This is the Wade Curtis Electric Theme, backed by Surfing Bird. Can't go wrong with Norton stuff. And check it out, stamped Sandy. So these were cheap buys online from the Hurricane Sandy disaster that happened in the States a while back, maybe 2010s. This is a 7-inch I got down in Mexico City. One of the most expensive 7-inches I've actually purchased. Straight up. Record prices are not cheap in Mexico City, just FYI. They are priced for tourist level or US dollar type level. I went down there with my Canadian bucks, and this one cost me about 300 pesos or 30 Canadian. This is Den of Thieves, Pick the Lock. It's a sick funk track though. That one and Ronin, Den of the Thieves. They're just basically funky, rhythmic, beat-driven stuff, kind of breaksy. I'm not sure where the label's from. It might be Canadian label even. It's on We Groove Records. Beats, congas, and cowbells for days, as it says on the sleeve. So yeah, that was a nice find and a colored vinyl. A couple more to show you guys. This one's kind of rare, although I think I have 2 copies of it. White vinyl, again a funk dub, I think, style instrumental. Lost and Found, Volume 1, number 203 out of 300. That one's numbered. And of course, back in the day, I would say almost exclusively, it feels like in the 90s, one label did a lot of colored vinyl was Sub Pop. This is the House of Pain with the Butch Vig remix of Shamrocks and Shenanigans. And Sub Pop, colored vinyl. Another one. This is a Superchunk doing a cover of Ice Cube's Dead Homies. Pretty cool. There was definitely a lot of back and forth influence between hip hop of the 90s, which was just dominated the 90s, and sort of the indie and grunge and alt kind of scene of the late 80s into the 90s, like Sonic Youth having Chuck D in one of their songs or videos and Cool Thing, etc. House of Pain doing this 7-inch on Sub Pop. That's pretty cool. Next up, record with Parallel Lines. Now, I didn't quite understand the meaning or concept behind all this, but it is true that I do have quite a few records that have these parallel lines, I guess. Yeah, and this is a BGP label, I think UK label that does killer reissues of rare stuff. This one is Camille Yarborough's "Take Your Praise" and Jean-Jacques Perry's "Eva," which is a must-have in the collection. Play this all the time. More BGP stuff. This is "In the Ghetto," 24 Karat Black. But yeah, the parallel lines, and then even some more reissue stuff here. Big Crown, got these parallel lines. This Big Crown series is really fun. It's like reggae-ish versions, steel drum versions of famous hip hop songs, etc. Really cool remixes. Um, Jazzman, also out of London, also a reissue label, doing the parallel lines. You could even say Sub Pop in a way, right? Doing the parallel lines. They're squiggly, but they're parallel. This is Unrest, alt punk band, I guess. 1991 7-inch, doing a cover of ESG's UFO on there. I'm gonna take that out and take a listen to that again. Cool artwork on the label. Yeah, I didn't have a ton of stuff to show for this. Surprisingly enough, I mean, a lot of punk 7-inches definitely have artwork on the label, but I wouldn't say it's always that great. Here's a Canadian showing again, Shadowy Man on Shadowy Planet, who also did the theme song for Kids in the Hall, a comedy show. Everybody knows them here. Good Cop, Bad Cop, 7-inch. Just a great little 7-inch EP. This is an OG copy. And they did kind of a fun thing on the label. Sort of a little Schlager's game or something. I think the EP is called Schlager's. There it is, Shadowy Men. In terms of like just like label art, I mean, again, I go back to like the company labels, like the Popcorn label. It's pretty fun for reissues. Or how about those old school cameo logo? It's kind of cool. Funk 45, kind of doing a similar thing with the stars as Popcorn. If you want to go classic, Stax. At a Rekkid label, Rekkid logo. And then finally, got them cheap, but it's valuable. Well, it won't include that $30 one that I showed earlier. They got in Mexico City, which I think is still sitting around $30. So we'll see where that lands. Not that I'm a record investor. Probably easier and better things to invest your money in these days, but simpler than lugging around a big collection. Got them cheap but valuable. Well, I looked on my Discogs, and the highest ranked record actually amongst 7-inches, and this would be in the top 25, top 30 overall, highest maybe ish, was a 7-inch that came out in 2016. It is not that old, and it is basically a hip hop kind of thing. This is Flippin' Bob, Flippin' Bob, Friday's Funky 45, Volume 4. 2 minutes and 42 seconds, 3 minutes on the other side. You got part 1 and part 2 of this Flippin' Bob. It's like a DJ producer out of Vancouver. Put this out. Doesn't have a lot of stuff out. It's limited edition, and it's selling for almost $200 Canadian now. When I got it, I don't know how I even got it. I think I probably ordered it maybe from Juno out of the UK. Probably got it for like $20 back in the day. I have had it for a while. Probably got it when it first came out, 2016. My second highest value 7-inch was another Canadian hip hop 7-inch, but I can't seem to find it right now. But I know it's in my collection somewhere. That is Stinkin' Rich out of Halifax. Third highest, that is a single 7-inch, would go to this one, The Strokes, Someday. And I kind of always thought someday some of these Strokes 7s would be worth something. I don't know. I'm sure they got reissued, right? But this is a OG one on orange vinyl as well. Never listened to the Strokes really anymore, but man, there was that time where we all listened to the Strokes daily. And then I'll show just the last two that are kind of personal faves that are not worth anything. But They're definitely not worth like 200 bucks. I should have said the someday is worth, I think, 150 or something. And anyway, yeah, they're over 100 bucks. But one of my favorite finds. I don't know how much I paid for this back in the day. Actually, maybe $10 because it says $10 on Discogs right there. But this is a Def Jam promo copy of Beastie Boys' "Hold It Now, Hit It," and it's a little roughed up. I gotta admit, it doesn't skip, but it's a little crunchy. But I love it, and I play it all the time. I love the early Beastie Boys stuff, or all the Beastie Boys stuff, really. But this is the classic era when I first heard of them, License to Ill, and it's cool that it's a white promo one, and it's worth maybe like 10 or 15 bucks now. And this one is kind of cool. It's kind of come across my attention off and on. Might have got this used. I don't know. It's a reissue thing on Rooster Records, and it's kind of like a comedy gimmick kind of single 7-inch. Chicken Rock by Scott Wood and Chicken Grabber by the Nighthawks. And one of these tracks, maybe the Chicken Grabber one, I think, is in a John Waters, classic John Waters movie like Pink Flamingos or Multiple Maniacs. One of those actually plays this, probably the OG of it. And I happen to have the reissue of this. And yeah, it has parallel lines again, too. So there it is, Chris. That is my entry for no prize. But again, congrats on 4 years. I guess I've been around the same amount of time. I feel like ran across your channel around the same amount of time. And here's to 4 more. See you guys.